Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about what happens when we give in to that most destructive and pointless of human emotions. It's time we talked about the cycle of hate, so let's get into it, shall we? Now, we all know what happened in the winter of 2017 in our community. Kira the Wolf was accused of horrifying things, and it got well out of hand. But it didn't simply end with him. After the fact, it seemed that several small groups have tried to continue the drama by accusing others of various crimes, some minor and some major, and yet almost all of them have been false. They use misdirection and manipulate those who listen, citing information taken out of context or from years prior, or skewing the truth to fit their chosen narrative. This can be seen in the issues with Shamrock Fox, Glitch Does Sass, and Clovis Mint, as well as the accusations that were leveled against Skyware and Rico Tiger. Now, a small but very vocal group has, in essence, created a system in which even the smallest misdeed can be made into a capital offense, and actively look for anything and everything they can use to accuse whoever they please. Like to tweet from somebody they dislike?
You're a Nazi.
Have somebody following you on social media that they don't like?
Nazi sympathizer.
Maybe you said something inappropriate when you were 6 years old and there's a record of it somewhere? Trust me, they'll find it, and they'll use it to label you. This, my dear Fluffs, is the cycle of hate. A system in which people become so used to this destructive emotion that they feel they can justify looking for reasons to let it in. Those who get caught in it will seek out any and every reason to accuse someone of something simply to give them a reason to hate that particular individual, and it's kind of sad. Now, I'll admit, it's one thing if just one or two people in the community mistakenly fall into this cycle. It's easy to quell, and to teach them a better way. But what happens when it becomes so many of us that people start seeing it as a sort of collective mentality? How does it look on our community when lies, slander, and even calls to violence become so common that you can set your watch by them? Right now, we're dealing with this exact phenomenon, and it's grown out of control. We are at the point where, if we don't collectively stand against those who have fallen into the cycle of hate, it will inevitably destroy our community. I've sat and watched the community for a few decades now. I've seen people fall into this particular cycle, and in my own way, I've helped pull people out of it too. That's part of why I can no longer sit and watch, so starting today, I take a stand in my own little way. Now, several years ago, there was a movement in the state I live in that helped fix a similar problem. I took part in this movement personally, and I believe that, with the current state within the furry community, we need it here and now. So, to that end, I feel it's time to bring back the NOH8 or No Hate movement. Their goal was to teach people that hatred only brings violence and ruin, and they could not be more right. I'll admit, our community does need to change. There are terrible things that lurk in the darker sides of our fandom, but how we have tried to bring about this change isn't working. When witch hunts, cancel culture, and threats of violence become the norm, we need to accept that there has to be a better way. And sure, the current methods have brought a few people such as Nelazar and Wolf to justice, but at the cost of countless innocent fluffs being accused, alienated, and forced into a constant state of fear. From the beginning, our community has been one of tolerance, acceptance, and love. The innocent fluffs among us should never have to say that they're afraid of their fellow furs, and yet, I've heard it too many times in recent years. And every time it breaks my heart. We were meant for so much more than this. The cycle of hate needs to end.